Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. So today I am continuing my Build Newcrest Community Lots challenge, and this week we are building the Arts Center, which I had actually recently built an Arts Center for my, what was it? Oh, it was for my Ant Life LP. So I'm kind of glad that this one came in last for this neighborhood, since I had just done one, so now it's been a little while since I had built an art center, so I was ready to go. So this is actually the second art center that I tried to build. I struggled. I struggled quite a bit with this build. Like, I had halfway completed like an entirely different art center that was, I don't know, it wasn't working. I was trying to make it like really industrial and like using a lot of like found materials. And I was trying to make it have like a shipping containers kind of vibe with it, and it just wasn't working, and I wound up getting rid of it. So this is the Newcrest Artist Colony version 2.0. And I decided to call it Artist Colony instead of Art Center because, for one thing, Art Center I think is kind of boring and redundant, and I wanted to build a place where artists could actually live and work. So obviously in the game that's not like technically possible, but there is like living quarters for anyone who wants to live here. So obviously, like, your Sims couldn't have this as like their home lot, but basically the third floor of the building is a communal apartment area. So there's like a big kitchen and there's a living room area, and then there are 4 separate bedrooms, each of them with a single bed and then a bathroom with like a shower and sink and a toilet. Yeah, so it's not a residential lot. Like, your Sims won't be able to live here, but if you say, I don't know, say you're doing like a rags to riches challenge and you need a place that actually has a bed and a shower, this could work for that. I don't know, it might actually break a rule. I don't know how that works, but yeah, so basically it's for your starving artists or your very, very dedicated artists, whatever the case might be. And, maybe they can't really afford an actual house on their lot, but they still need a place to sleep and also work on their art. So that's kind of the vibe that I was going for here. And yeah, so I built this. It was a struggle. It really, I wanted to do something that was a little bit different, especially since I had just built an art center, and that's not something that I normally build very much of. Like, I've built so many restaurants in The Sims 4. Like, and they're not even all of them are up on my gallery. There's just so many of them. So for me to build another restaurant, I'm like, well, it's not a big deal, but like, I don't know, something about an art center just seemed kind of, it loomed over me. It was a bit of an overwhelming kind of build. Although, to be fair, this past week when I was working on building this has been kind of an overwhelming week in general for reasons I'm not going to get into right now. But like, I started off the week working on my original art colony build, and then I scrapped it, and then I had to do this, and then it almost didn't get done in time. So it's been, I don't know, it's been kind of a difficult week for me. I'm realizing that working a job that's like 40 plus hours a week on top of creating 5 YouTube videos and editing and exporting and uploading and doing all those things, it's a little bit more than I had thought it would be. I mean, I knew going in that this was going to be like a challenge, but like, if it was just the job and the just YouTube videos, it would be one thing, but it's like, it's also life on top of that. It's, doing laundry and cooking food and cleaning my house and, doing all of those like boring, awful grown-up things that I have to do that I don't really want to do. But if I'm not at my job, then it's not that big of a deal to get all that stuff done, plus the YouTube videos. But it has been more of a challenge than I had anticipated, doing everything all at once. And that's not even counting things like seeing my friends and family or relaxing, because my job is kind of a stressful job. It's not it is full-time, but it's not year-round. So when I'm working, it's a very short timetable for things, and it's very pressurized. So I don't know. Basically, it's a temporary thing. It's not for a very long time. And I sort of was hoping that I could just pull through it and make it all work. And so far, it's kind of been 50-50 whether or not that will actually happen. So, I don't know. I don't want to complain too much, because I know that there are a lot of people out there who work full-time year-round, and I'm very grateful that I don't have to be one of those people, because I have never really enjoyed having that type of a schedule all the time. I like variety. I like being able to kind of have a little bit more independence in my schedule and not always do the same thing day in and day out. If I had to work at the same job every day for an entire year. Actually, as I'm saying this, I don't know that I've actually done that, because I get bored very easily, and I don't know. I like things to change more frequently than a traditional job lets me do. So, and again, I realize that I'm very lucky that I don't have to do this, so I don't want to complain, but in any case, this past week was a little bit of Christine reaching her breaking point. So if you follow me on Twitter, which I recommend doing, you will have noticed that the tone of my tweets has changed from yay, things are good, to kind of oh my god, everything sucks. This is terrible. And then on top of everything else, then we've gotten not great news, or I guess not great lack of news coming out of the Sims team, and that has been really upsetting to me, because normally playing The Sims is what I do to help me relax and feel better and just forget about my worries. And I how do I say this? So I don't officially have an anxiety disorder. I've never been formally diagnosed. However, I have been in therapy for an anxiety problem for close to 3 years. So it's definitely something that I have to work on, and being super anxious comes naturally to me is probably the best way that I could put this. So for me, one of the ways that has always helped with dealing with anxiety issues is playing The Sims. And I know that there's a lot of other people out there, especially in the YouTube community, who have been pretty open about their anxiety issues, and they all play The Sims. So I don't know. Is it something about The Sims that causes the anxiety? I don't think so. But or is it the reverse, where people who have anxiety tend to enjoy The Sims? I don't know. But in any case, so I normally will play The Sims to help me forget about the things in real life that are stressing me out and making me anxious. And it's it's an escape. And, sometimes you just need to escape from reality for a little bit. And so this past week, though, for one thing, anytime I was going to play The Sims, it was to work on this video. It was to work on this build, because this build, I had to spread it out over several different days, especially because I don't want to say I wasted time, but I did have footage of an entirely different build that I wound up not using. So, that was kind of time wasted, especially when my time right now is pretty precious and limited. So not great. And then on top of all of that, then we got the news that Sim Guru Daniel had been laid off from his job, and that there were other people who work at Maxis/EA who work on Sims things who lost their jobs. And it's just, it's so stressful. Like, even talking about it now, I can feel like my inside, like I'm actually gripping my fingers together right now because talking about this has gotten me so stressed out because I don't like thinking about the end of The Sims, and I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen, but like, it doesn't look good, and it really scares me that we're not getting more information as of, Sunday afternoon when I'm recording this. So, I don't know. I love The Sims so much. It has been a big, big, big part of my life since I was 12 years old, 13 years old. I'm 31 right now. So, like, more than half of my life has been spent, almost 2/3 of my life has been spent playing The Sims. Wow. Okay. That's just scary to me. But anyways, so I don't like thinking about the fact that, and I know that at some point, like logically, The Sims is not going to last my entire lifetime. I'm not going to be able to be like an 80-year-old woman still playing The Sims because there's just no way that it will still be around at that point. That's fine. I realize that. But I always sort of pictured it lasting longer than it has. And again, not saying that it's going away, but things don't look great right now. And it really, really stresses me out that we're not getting more information. Like it started with, we don't have a teaser trailer for this quarter. And so we have no idea what, if anything, is coming to the game anytime soon. And then news, Sim Guru Daniel worked at Maxis for almost 20 years. And part of me is like, okay, the logical, like, from a business standpoint, and this is real shitty, but I know for a fact that this happens more often than we would like to think. But from a business standpoint, to have an employee work at the same place anymore for 20 years is expensive. Because with each passing year, you have to pay them more money. Or else, I don't know. I don't know what the alternative is there. But basically, it is more expensive for companies to have long-term employees. Because that's just how it works. It's not like it was, back 2 generations ago, or even, like my parents' generation, people would graduate college or graduate high school, find a job in an office, and stay there until they retired at, 65 years old. And that was it. That's how things worked back then. But anymore, that's not how things work. And it's not always the choice of the employee that's not how things work. It's more often than not, it's the choice of the employer. So I'm trying to look at this from a very logical point of view that chances are Sim Guru Daniel and the other employees who lost their jobs were probably more expensive to the company than somebody who's only been there for 5 years. And I have no idea. I really don't. But for me to not completely lose it, that's what I have to tell myself, because that's just how my brain works. So, yeah. So, I don't know. So, in any case, this week has been kind of crap, and, I have my own work things going on that I'm frustrated with and disappointed with and upset with. And then on top of that, then we had Sim stuff that was kind of bad, and I was like, okay, I could use a win. I could use something that's not crappy in my life. And ironically, actually, last week started off on a really, really good note. So in case you haven't seen it, okay, backing up. Last weekend, I busted my butt and I recorded all 5 videos for last week to come out. So I recorded, my Build Newcrest video, my Ant Life LP, my Create a Sim video for Fill the World Create a Sim, my Big Family Little House Challenge, and Jungle Adventure. So I recorded all 5 videos almost in one sitting. It was kind of nuts, but it worked out really well because then, as it turned out, I needed that extra time during the week to be able to work on this build. So I didn't say anything about it because it hadn't happened yet. But so a week and a half ago or so, I was contacted by BuzzFeed for permission to use my footage in one of their videos. So in case you haven't seen them, I have built a house for the Try Guys from BuzzFeed. And then because Keith from the Try Guys has been doing this series where he created each of the Try Guys in The Sims 4 and then has been playing with them and just kind of messing around, and it's so funny. I mean, like, they crack me up because especially the first couple of videos, he had never played The Sims before, so he didn't really know what he was doing. But Kelsey, who is also a producer at BuzzFeed, I'm assuming she's a producer. I actually don't really know what her title is, but she is a Sims fan. And so she was kind of like guiding him through it, and like, I don't know. It was so much fun to watch. And more recently, they did a video where they had asked fans to come up with unique ways to kill off the Try Guys. And so a lot of people like either posted a video to like Twitter, or they killed off one of the Try Guys. I killed off all 4 of them and then made a video about it a few weeks ago. Which, you know, like, that's cool. I had a lot of fun actually making that video. I put so much work into editing it. I mean, I literally worked on that video from like 10 in the morning until 1 o'clock in the morning. Like, it was kind of a nuts kind of a day. But, so when they had asked me if I, you know, would give my permission, I was like, oh, cool. I had no idea when this video was going to come out. So I was like, well, I'm just not going to say anything, and what if they don't use my footage? Then I don't want to have said anything in advance and then be embarrassed about it. So on Monday of last week, the BuzzFeed video came out, and my video is like the entire middle chunk of their video. They spent so much time on my video, and I'm like, what? Like, what? How is this happening? So, super flattered. I kind of triggered an existential crisis in Keith, which, to be fair, I also had a bit of an existential crisis myself when I was recording that video, because, so in the Try Guys, he made Zach a child, which meant in order to kill off all the Try Guys, I had to kill off a child, which, I mean, like, I don't really feel good about doing that. But in any case, I recommend watching my video in its completion, and also the Try Guys video as well. Well, it's not a Try Guys video, it's a BuzzFeed video about the Try Guys. But yeah, so that started off my week. So like Monday, I was like, oh my god, I was flying so high, like just to even have my video in it at all. But then to see like how much of my video was in it and how much of their video was my video. Like they use videos from several other people as well. Like there was one person where they had made like this really cool maze, but like out of swimming pools, and they made them like swim through to like get into the house basically. And then obviously they, you know, they all died of fatigue and they drowned, and it was great. But yeah, so I was very surprised that how much of, you know, their video wound up being my video, but also like kind of yay. I mean, like, I don't know, it's kind of nice to see like when you work really, really hard on something to get acknowledgement for it. And I know that that's like prideful, but at the same time, like then after that, then the rest of my week was like kind of not great. So I felt kind of okay with being a little bit yay, because I needed that little boost to start my week off okay, because after that it really took a nosedive real quick. So anyways, I'm now building. So this is kind of an odd thing to me. So one of the lot requirements for the art center is a bar. So because I don't know, in my mind I've always pictured arts centers in The Sims 4 as like a community center or a rec center, where it just has like art studios where you can like take classes and stuff. Or, you know, because like, and then the other thing is that they also require having like a kid's drawing table. So, like, what type of a place has both obviously something for children and also a bar, which is typically for adults? So I couldn't quite figure out what to go for there. But so I put in this bar on like the second floor, kind of like open air part. And then I stuck the kids' room right next to it because, you know, they're not going to go to the bar, but they might want to draw on their drawing table things, you know, why not? And then I also put in like some armchairs and books and yeah, so basically this is like, it's a kid's art room, but it's really more of like a hangout room while mom and dad are at the bar. So, you know, there's that. And let's see. So the first floor I did like a typical art studio thing. There's like this big lobby area, which I'm sure you saw. It has like a piano and fountains, and I don't know, man, something about doing this like build Newcrest thing. I use fountains so much. And I love the fountains in the game. I think they're really pretty, and I like fountains in general. But I think I've used a fountain in almost every single one of these so far. I'm trying to think back. Okay, so I know I definitely had a fountain, obviously, here. In the art museum, it wasn't technically a fountain, it was a swimming pool, but I had it set up as a fountain, so I'll count that. Like, it was totally walled off. Like, your Sims could not get into that. The park has fountains. What else? The pool, well, actually, even the pool has a fountain because that's how I did the toddler splash pad area. So, fountain there. Does the library have a fountain? Ooh. That might be the only one. I don't think I put a fountain in on the library. But, you know, I mean, like, books and water, they don't get along so well, so it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, so, and then also on the first floor, there's, like, a music studio area with, like, separated off practice rooms. Because technically, like, the only lot requirement is to have one musical instrument. But I was like, you know what? Music is an art too, damn it. Like, I studied music in college, so I'm always going to advocate for more music everywhere and in everything. Yay! So yeah, and that was something I had done when I built my Steinke Art Center for my Ant Life Let's Play. So I liked that idea, and I used it again here. And then, so the second floor has like a woodworking studio, where it has like those benches, like, I don't know, what are they called? Work benches. That's what they're called, work benches. And like a bar area, and then the kids' room, and then the third floor, like I said earlier, is just like the apartments. I did 4 bedrooms, each of them with a single bedroom, a nightstand, and like that open closet thing, because I sort of thought that they should all be kind of the same. Like, because the people who would be living here wouldn't always be here, but then they could like kind of customize it a little bit to their own tastes and likings. So the paintings on the wall will be different, and like if there's like a throw rug, that'll be different. Just like the decorations, basically, those are all going to be different for each of the different rooms. And then I left the 4th bedroom totally empty. So, you know, obviously, because it's like, it's not a permanent housing. So if somebody isn't staying in that room, then that could be a room that your Sim stays in. I don't know. Use your imagination. So 1 bedroom is kind of like eco-friendly, I guess. I don't know. There's like a lot of like posters and pictures of nature, and there's like one of those signs for like a protest from City Living. And then the next room is kind of like dark and colorful all at once. And then the last one is like super cute and pink, and like when I was building it, I referred to it as the kawaii room because it's very kawaii. And then out here we have the kitchen, which I by this point when I was recording like this kitchen with the white cabinets, it was near the end of the day, and What am I doing? Oh, well, there goes all of like my saving game things. Whoops. So anyways, so when I was doing that original kitchen with like the white like parenthood stuff, it was, well, okay, it's not late at night, but like when I'm working, I go to bed early. So it was late at night for me, and I was just like tapped out of ideas. So this is now the next time I tried building this kitchen, and I went with the stuff from Jungle Adventure because by this point they had patched in the island counters from the ones that they forgot when Jungle Adventure first came out. So yay! So I was like, all right, well, now that we have these nice island counters that match the regular counters from Jungle Adventure, I'm going to use them. So I kind of, for like this open area, like kitchen living room thing, I went with like a Mondrian vibe. Like, I don't know how to explain it. So like basically there's an artist named Mondrian, and a lot of the art is like it's modern, but it's like bold primary colors is how I would describe it. So like yellow, red, blue. So that's the color scheme I went with, and it just happened that it worked really, really well with the items in the Jungle Adventure kitchen set. So that worked out really, really well. And then I wound up using more stuff from Jungle Adventure. I used the love seats over here. And, the other thing was that in that patch from last week, they freed, we got in Jungle Adventure, we got the one plant thing where it's like 3 plants kind of all stuck together. Well, they liberated them. So you now have the one where it's 3 plants all stuck together, but now they also have them individually as well. So I used a lot of that actually in this build because they're really nice little plants, especially, and I know I've said this before, but I use plants to create height a lot of the times, and we just don't have that many tall plants. Like, there's that one fern, and I use it all the time, but like other than that, there's just not that much. So, but one of the plants from that Jungle Adventure trio is like a taller fern type of plant, so you bet I used that. I was like, oh, finally, some variety. Yay. Also, this shelf from the Laundry Day stuff pack really just bugs the crap out of me. Like, nothing slots well here. Like, I had to, just to put those little, like, obviously those books should fit on that shelf, but I had to cheat them on in order for it to work. And like, yay, we have the cheats to make it work, but wouldn't it be so much easier if they would just snap on? Like they should, because I can't understand why those little books don't fit there. It makes no sense to me. But anyways, enough about that. So basically I came up with this idea. I don't know that I've said this yet. So I came up with this idea of having a space for artists to both live and work all at once. When I was in college, I was in a professional women's music fraternity called Sigma Alpha Iota, and one of the like services, I guess you could say, or like the national organization has a artist colony basically. So I'm actually not really sure where it is now that I'm saying this, but basically it's a place where musicians can go and have a quiet, secluded place to just concentrate on their work, and they can also stay there, and it's cost effective basically. So that's kind of where I got the idea to do this for the art center, because I don't know, it seems nice, and I'm a big supporter of the arts, both visual and instrumental and vocal, and I don't know, it just seemed like kind of a cool idea. And so I went with it. Of course, the last thing I do up here is work on this stupid triangle-shaped bathroom, why I decided to make the bathroom triangle-shaped, I have no idea. I regret that decision immensely, because I wanted to try to do a thing where you could have like multiple shower stalls and multiple toilet stalls, but there was just no way that was going to work and still be usable. So I just made it all in one big bathroom, but you know, you're only gonna share it with like up to 3 other people who would be staying there at one time, so you can take turns with the shower. It's fine. And there are like just general open to the public bathrooms down on the first floor as well. I don't know that I said that already, but so this is this is now me failing miserably at trying to make a symmetrical fountain. Like what am I doing? I don't even know. Like, I think I briefly got there in the end and then just said, forget it. I don't care. So I do in the end, I do have a halfway decent fountain, I think. I don't know, maybe. I like it. But yeah, that first attempt was just, ooh, man. So I kind of wanted to do something that, I don't know, was a little bit like unique and also kind of eye-catching. This lot was almost too big for this building, which is interesting because I could have used more space for the library. So I don't know. As I was, you know, like a month and a half ago or whenever it was that I started doing these, as I was plotting out what building should go where, I think in hindsight I should have switched the library and the art center, but you know, hindsight's 20/20. So I had then the opportunity to have this big fountain area, which yay me and fountains, because we all know how much I love these fountains. And then I also put on 2 of the floor murals because again, it's a lot requirement, but I also kind of like the idea that then that would, like, I don't know, maybe draw people in, like, oh hey, like, come on in and see what, you know, this guy's working on and he's doing like sidewalk art or whatever. And then you're like, oh, well, what is this place? Oh, this looks interesting. Let's just walk up to the front door and see what's here. And oh, wow, look at all this beautiful art. See, it's all part of my grand plan. It's excellent. So yeah, I'm trying to think. See, this is awkward because I just have a couple of minutes left in the video, so I can't start talking about something new, but I also don't really have anything else to talk about. So yeah, I guess that's it then. So I have this up on the Sims 4 gallery. You can find it underneath my username, Mrs. Tomato 1018, or underneath the hashtag, oh my god, can't talk, underneath the hashtag Mrs. Tomato 1018. And yeah, so I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, you can do so down below. I put out a new video every day, Monday through Friday, even if it kills me. And yeah, so I am not going to continue doing the voting for the next part for this. Just because I need to be able to have the flexibility to start working on my builds earlier in the week, because, you know, that just works out a lot better for me. And so yeah, so I don't know, I may bring back the voting at some point, but for right now I am just going to move on. So the next neighborhood is the one that has like all of the commercial daytime types of places. So it has, let's see, the vet center, nope, the vet center, oh my god, the vet's office and the spa, the gym, a retail store, and there's one more. I forget what it is, but it was on the map at the beginning of the video, so you can look there. So yeah, so I'm not sure which one I'm going to do yet. I haven't quite decided, but so next week will be a big surprise. Yay! So anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!